Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one of our summer virtual series. Today is a big one, what to expect on move-in day. So we started the summer with what is it like living on campus? We've had some amazing different presenters each week, and now we get into the real nitty-gritty of what it's going to be like on my favorite day of the year, move-in. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Tara Stevenson. I serve as the Vice President of Student Affairs here at Flagler College, and I am joined by some amazing panelists tonight that I will let themselves introduce themselves in just a moment. But again, purpose of tonight's program is to go over what move-in day is going to look like for our incoming students. The recordings of all past webinars have been added to the Flagler College YouTube channel. Woo! That was a big win. And so make sure that you check out that playlist if there are any others that you're hoping to get some insight to. As a reminder, we have the Q&A up, but we won't have the chat up. I don't believe that it's got any functionality except that Rachel is going to be dropping some links in there as we're making references. But if you have any questions for our panelists, please put them into the Q&A and we will do our best to get through all of those. But without further ado, why don't we let our panelists say who they are, and then we will dive into some of our information and questions. Rachel, you want to go ahead and get us started?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Rachel Clark, and I serve as the Assistant Dean of Community Living and Standards. And Lynn?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Anlin Harvey, and I am the Director of Residence Life.
And my name is Julia Corey, and I currently serve as the Assistant Director of Residence Life.
Awesome. So these are those key players that make up our residence life team on the ground. We also have our Dean of Students, Dr. Dre Adams Manning, who will be supporting the team as well as all the resident advisors. But let's go ahead and just do like a high level brief overview of move-in.
Yeah, absolutely. I can take this. Move-in day is Friday, August 21st, and somehow it is always the hottest day of the year. So do
Always.
get
Yes.
prepared now with a water bottle. I often see moms with like neck fans, those work too. Maybe a ball cap. Just go ahead and get prepared for move-in day. It is a warm day, but it's Friday, August 21st. We will kick it off at 8 a.m. That is when kind of our doors open, and it runs pretty continuously throughout the day until about 3:30 or so. Students are able to move in to their residence halls, and it is building and floor specific. And I'm happy to go over some of those as well. So from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., students who live on Lewis third floor, Cedar third floor, Ponce West third floor, and then FEC, Bear, and Sebastian all floors. So any of our transfer students who are living in those upper class areas can move in from 8 to 9:30. From 9:30 to 11 a.m., we have Lewis second floor, Cedar second floor, Ponce East third floor. From 11 to 12:30, we have Lewis first floor, Cedar first floor, and Ponce West second floor. 12:30 to 2, we've got Ponce East and West on our lobby level. So those would be rooms that just have two numbers in them. For example, Ponce 35, as well as Ponce East second floor. And then lastly, from 2 to 3:30 p.m., it's Ponce East and West first floor. We do ask that people arrive within that window. That does help our elevators only stop at the one floor. It does keep things moving pretty well when students are able to stick with that move-in window. We will open, and we'll talk about our one-stop shop in just a minute, but we will open our one-stop shop at 7:45 a.m. for that first group, and you are allowed to arrive 15 minutes prior to your move-in window. So that first group can arrive at 7:45 to one stop. That second group can arrive at 9:15, and so on and so forth. But we'll get to one stop in just a couple minutes.
And then a good reminder is that all of this information has been communicated to the student of when their time slot is. They received emails from Residence Life. It's been posted on the Move-In website. I think there's been a couple family portal posts with the information out there. We're trying to get it out as much as possible. And so, Anlin, why don't you take us through now making your way to campus and parking and starting the day?
Absolutely. And so if I could just echo what Tara said, I think one of the best pieces of advice is start telling your student to check that Flagler email and get in that mindset. We're going to be sending out lots of communication as we get closer to move-in day. But the big day is here. What do you expect? What's going to happen? So continue to monitor that communication. The first thing that you're going to see is that we're going to share a map with you that'll help you navigate directly to your first stop for move-in day, which is going to be that one-stop shop parking. It's going to be located in our First United Methodist Church. There will be lots of signage and volunteers directing you to where that location is going to be. So from that parking lot, it's just a short walk to our Ringhaver Student Center, which is going to be where our one-stop shop is. At One Stop, your student's going to get a parking pass that's going to go on the dash of your vehicle. So then when they exit the parking, they're going to go right to their residence hall. Our marketing team is wonderful, and they have put together all kinds of resources for families, parents coming. And so there's going to be a QR code right on that dash path, and that's going to take you to your residence hall. Our vehicles will be guided by volunteers. We'll have St. Augustine PD, who we partner with closely on that day, to help make sure that you know where you're going and point you in the right direction.
And
So
Anlin, this is really important because we love that the city is doing some different improvements to the city, but it does make navigating some of these streets a little bit more difficult. And so we were trying to get this visual map out there because the King Street Bridge is close to some repairs, which was a big thoroughway into the city. And there's a couple other streets that are affected. So this map is really going to be key for our families to lessen some of that beginning of the day frustration.
the next thing that I just want to touch on that we get a lot of questions about is that if you're going to bring more than one vehicle, what do you do? We always say that less is more because you can always go shopping and grab things when you get here, and we can also mail things to campus. But if you are bringing more than one vehicle, what does that look like for you? So your second car is not going to go through that process of right to the residence hall. If you're bringing a second vehicle, that'll go directly to our parking garage, which is by our FEC and A-Bear Commons building. If that second vehicle has those items that need to be moved in, after your first vehicle completes our full process, goes to the residence hall, gets everything unpacked, you can do a swap and swap spaces into that parking garage. So then your first car can go into the parking garage and your second car can go back through that line. You will just receive one dash pass, so it is important that that second vehicle goes to the parking garage and doesn't follow through that line.
All right. And so Rachel and Lynn touched on that one-stop shop. So let's dive a whole lot more into families have arrived with that one car at one stop. They've started their walk to the student center. Then what happens?
Sure. When families and students arrive to the student center, the students will be, everyone will be greeted and the students will be invited upstairs to the second floor of our student center to what we're calling the one-stop shop. Upstairs, they will be able to connect with financial aid or student accounts if they need to. Pro tip, if you have not settled your student account balance, I encourage you all to do so in the coming days. That will help speed up your students' check-in process to make sure that they've got their student accounts settled. But if they do need to speak to student accounts or financial aid, they can do so upstairs on the second floor. Your student will be able to pick up their room key, a welcome bag. If they have not had a chance to connect and pick up their student ID, they can do so there. If they have pre-purchased a parking pass, they can also pick that upstairs on the second floor. It's a pretty smooth process for them upstairs. We ask that families and guests stay downstairs on the first floor. That just kind of helps us with traffic a little bit on the stairwells and to keep some spaces open. But families will be able to connect with information technology, our family leadership council. We'll have coffee and pastries and things like that for families downstairs. And our Learning Resource Center is going to sponsor an opportunity for families and parents to write just a short letter to their student to maybe tuck under their pillow that first night or just tuck in their drawer for their first day of class. So while the student is upstairs taking care of business, families have a nice opportunity to write their student a little letter with the student out of sight. So that opportunity will be there as well. And then once the student has collected all of their things and the family is all set, they can make their way back to their one-stop parking lot to pick up one of their vehicles and make their way to the residence hall to unload.
So, as a reminder, we're not going directly to the residence halls. We're going to that one stop, and that's where the student will make sure that they get that key, that ID card, parking decal, any, closing up of last minute business with student accounts or financial aid. And then, Ann Lynn, take us from there.
Yeah, so you're obviously going to go back to your car, that United Methodist Church, and then use our QR code on your dash pass and any of the signs to direct you in the right location to get to your residence hall. Like Tara said, with the construction, a lot of things going on around town, they really have thought about everything to make sure that it's a smooth route from our one-stop shop parking right to where you need to go in your residence hall. Just that quick little reminder, if you are bringing two vehicles, that second vehicle should go to the parking garage first and not follow in that line. And then you can do your little bit of a swap there. We are going to make sure that there are signs lining all of the streets, and we have lots of volunteers that are going to help you in the right direction. If you ever have a question, roll down your window, ask someone. They all kind of know what's going on, and we'll make sure we get you moving in the right way. Once you get to your parking lot for whatever residence hall that you are going to, we will have volunteers set up from our faculty, staff, clubs, athletics, student organizations. They are all there ready to help you. It's one of my favorite parts about Move-In Day because you get to see all of the current students who are not only coming back to help their new colleagues, their new saints, they're also seeing their friends, and they're connecting with everyone. So they just bring the energy on Move-In Day. A little tip is if you go to our Move-In website, we have some packing labels and luggage tags that you can download. They're not required, but they are super helpful in making sure that all of your items have a label that has your student's name and information, and what room it's going to. And then the volunteers will bring those right up to your room for you.
So great question here, since we've been talking a lot about the parking maps, getting to one stop, then getting to the halls. Will these be made available on the website, the family portal, student email?
Yes,
Where can they get those?
they will be available on the Move-In website, which I posted in the chat a few minutes ago, in the coming days, and then they will also be emailed to your student, hopefully by the end of next week. So encourage your student to check their Flagler email, and then parents, you can also keep your eyes open on that Move-In website.
Okay, great question here that we just got. So, if you're unloading and then you do have a second car, are you expected to do that swaparoo within those 15 minutes, or do they get that next 15 minutes?
The next 15 minutes.
All right, so we've got 15 minutes per car. So as we're Tetrising the back and everything, keep that in mind. And that truly is because we are in a downtown area with limited parking, and we're really trying to make it so that all of those students and families get that time that they need to unload and get into the halls and make sure that the next group can come on in. So Ann Lynn, you've taken us through what the parking looks like, getting into the room and everything like that. So Julia, why don't you then take us through what the rest looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So once you are in the residence hall, cars are empty, you have everything in front of you. I went to Flagler. I was a Flagler student, and I will always remember on my first day of move-in what that literally looked like was me and two other girls in the same room with all of our items just all over the room, three families, crazy town. Something that I always, always, always like to recommend to families is, in advance, right, with our students, having them connect with each other so you can see your roommates and suite mates on our eResLife portal and kind of get their contact information. So you don't have to bring four different shower curtains or four different area rugs or something like that. So once you're in, you're settled, you have everything in front of you, asking those questions and assessing, especially for your students, right? What do they still need? Is there anything that they left behind that we can make a Target run or make a Walmart run to pick up? Like a shower caddy or a laundry hamper or things that they may not have thought to need. And then they're here and they're like, okay, got it. I know where the laundry room is now. Maybe I should get a hamper with wheels to roll it up and down the hall or something like that. Um,
Not that you would know from experience, but
right, right. And I did not get one with wheels. I was lugging my laundry up and down the hall. So we often get questions about if you can leave campus to go and pick up things or go out to dinner or something like that and come back. The answer is yes. So what, and that includes, if you bring something and then you're looking at it and thinking, oh, well, someone else in the room already brought that, what can be brought back with families if there was like duplicative items or something like that. So yeah, I know we talked a little bit about like coming back with second vehicles and things like that. I really love the parking maps that are going to be sent and available because they're nice and color coded with different routes. So once you pull up to your residence hall and you are directed to the parking garage, you'll know exactly where to go with our beautiful roads in downtown. Um,
and Julia, just to kind of
yeah.
jump in here when you were saying about that second load, one point that sometimes our students and families get a little bit of frustration is they'll have an early day move
Hmm.
in, and then, like we're saying, they will unload their car and then go shopping for other things and want to come back into the parking lot to unload. And unfortunately, we have a whole nother crew that's moving in during that time. And so
Yeah.
we can't let somebody who's already had that window to come on in with their second load of
Yeah,
shopping,
right.
stuff like that. And so the lots do open up after 4 p.m., when a lot more of our larger group has moved in. But just to kind of avoid some of that frustration, please know that it's coming from a good place, that we want everybody to have that same experience. We know
Yeah.
that shopping and bags can get heavy, but that's just so that everybody throughout the day has that same experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point. So during a first year move-in, one of my favorite things to do is walk through the halls. And a lot of parents and students will have their doors open as they're unpacking, building desk
Shelves and
organizers.
hutches and
Yes, the little things. And getting to know their neighbors and kind of connecting with the people on your hall. So, and as part of my role, I directly oversee all of our resident advisors or all of our RAs. And that is what they are doing on move-in day. They are going door to door in their hall, being that first warm, welcoming face to say, hi, my name is so and so. I'm going to be your RA. We have our hall meeting tonight at 7 p.m. So just promoting that because that is a really important part of our first day move-in experience with our first year students. So all first year students will have their first hall meeting with their RA at 7 p.m. In their hall, no matter what residence hall they're in. So that is a really important meeting to get together as a hall community, get to know each other a little bit, learn a little bit about like policies and procedures and safety things, just reminders about resources that are available to them. And then directly after that, we have our big welcome event for our first year students. And this year it is going to be a big bingo bash in the dining hall. So we have lots of we have lots of fabulous prizes lined up. I am jealous of those who are playing. But we have a lot planned for that. So that is going to be really exciting. An exciting way to kick off Welcome Week for sure.
So I am loving the way that this one question was phrased by one of our viewers is the contributors is what we're going to call perhaps the family members. That
Okay.
would be a new lingo. And so when do they need to be out of the residence halls for that 7 p.m. meeting?
Yeah, great question. So after kind of the big exciting nature of the day kind of dies down around 3:30, 4 o'clock, What we like to recommend to families, not a requirement, of course, but if there is somewhere downtown or around that you want to go and have a nice dinner or go just get off campus, kind of be together before sending your student back to the residence hall to kind of kick off this really exciting journey at Flagler. We ask that families are out of the residence hall in like the 6 o'clock hour at the latest, just so that we can kind of give residents give new students the opportunity to settle, kind of get their bearings about them before they kind of jump into the rest of their evening. But that is, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, but if there's not like a solid end time that they have to be out, it's more so whatever the student is comfortable with, but just as long as our families have vacated before our like 7 o'clock meeting
Yeah,
time.
because the 7 o'clock meeting will be just for students, and so that's not something for our family members
Yeah.
to head to. And then shopping trips can recommence on that Sunday, and
Yeah.
family members can absolutely help to drop things off that next day. But I think it is a wonderful opportunity to, have a lovely dinner and then say, like,
Yeah.
you got this, like you can do this, and then
Yeah,
and check
absolutely.
in,
And I
throughout.
know I was looking at the welcome week schedule. I think
I
there's
was
like a
just gonna say
Target
that.
run or something
There are
happening one of
Target
the
runs, and so
days.
shuttles will be provided to help our students get to and from Target. And the
Yes.
farmers market, that's at the AMP.
Oh my
So
gosh. I
that's
go every
another thing.
week.
So maybe some local, yes, local things.
That's, I will say, our student leadership and engagement team does a wonderful job of putting together the welcome week schedule. And there's going to be so many things in that welcome bag that Rachel mentioned that your student will pick up at One Stop Shop. There's going to be a schedule of all the fabulous events that are going on during that week to help build community and get them out and feel comfortable navigating campus and meeting new people and learning a little bit about the culture of Flagler. And so highly recommend them going out and attending those welcome week events.
And this afternoon's weekly newsletter to our incoming students, they received the full schedule in there. And so there's a link where they can see exactly what everything looks like and start prepping for it. They can also, students can log into Saints Connect and start RSVPing for some of those events. So what are some maybe frequently asked questions that our families ask, and what are some different resources that we can provide to them?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can jump on this because I'm actively looking at it as we speak. Our beautiful website that we've built out that Rachel sent in the chat, flagler.edu/move-in. There is a little drop down that says packing list or what not to bring. And we have these posted all over. If you've attended our new student orientation, that's something that we have at our table during the department fair, things like that. Oh, amazing. Um, so yeah, this is kind of a not all inclusive, but pretty standard packing list and prohibited items, just per our residence life policies, and our residence halls, things like that. So I will always recommend if they're, because parents and families will always ask our current students and staff, if there's one thing that you wish you had when you moved in, what would it be? And we've had some really great answers from our current RAs and current orientation leaders. Rain boots and rain gear. That's not on a lot of the packing lists, but I do highly recommend that because we are in the beautiful Sunshine State and it does rain. So speaking from experience of being caught in the rain as a Flagler student who didn't have rain boots, that is something I wish that I had when I moved in. And students will always recommend bringing like a personal fan or something like that to be near the bed or on the desk. We keep our halls pretty cool. I think that's more of like a personal like sound preference thing, but yeah, those are just some examples, but our packing list on that website, definitely a great jumping off point for sure.
So, Julia, I love that we get this question all the time, and I never mind reiterating it multiple times. But command strips are not allowed. But how can students secure things to their walls or decorate their rooms?
Yeah, absolutely. So, someone else can jump into on what like the official
Sure.
name
Yeah.
is. I
We
think of it
have,
as like putty.
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
recommend a museum putty. It can be
Museum
picked up at
buddy.
Home Depot or Lowe's. Um, Amazon, of course, carries it, but it would be a museum putty, and that just helps protect the walls and helps also protect your items when they're coming off the walls.
Yeah, that was the big thing. Okay. And then we do get a lot of questions around this time about meal plans. And so could you kind of take us through the separation between our incoming first year students, incoming transfer students, or upper class students, and what those meal plans look like?
Yeah, absolutely. Our first year students are required to have what we call a full meal plan. You may see it online as the all access meal plan. That does come with a full meal plan in the dining hall, so students are able to utilize that for every meal. And it also comes with dining dollars that students are able to utilize in our bistro on campus for things like Chick-fil-A or sushi or Kookaburra coffee. They're also able to use those in our pods. Those are in primarily Aber Commons, as where students will use them, although some may use the one over in Sebastian House as well. We also have the All Access VIP, which is very similar. It's a full meal plan, so students can eat every meal in the dining hall. And then it does come with additional dining dollars for your students to use in those other places like Chick-fil-A or the bistro for sushi, coffee, things like that. For our incoming transfer students, they are able to select from the 10 meal plan, the 15 meal plan, either of those all access meal plans. And for students, incoming students who have been assigned to Sebastian House, they're also able to select from the Sebastian meal plan. The 10 and the 15 meal plans allow for 10 or 15 meals per week, respectively, in the dining hall. Varying amounts of dining dollars to be used in those pods location or the bistro. And then the Sebastian meal plan, which is popular for our Sebastian residents only, does include 125 meals per semester and then 500 dining dollars. They do have a pods over in the Sebastian House, which does give students who live in that residence hall a little bit greater flexibility with how they spend those dining dollars because that pods location is there. But our first year students will have one of the all access meal plans, and then our incoming transfer students can select either the 10, 15, either of the all access or the Sebastian if that's where they're assigned.
And Rachel, Julia mentioned, maybe doing a family meal after move-in. When does the meal plan officially begin?
It does begin that Friday at dinner, so Friday, August 21st at dinner time. So students are able to come in if you guys don't have, maybe you go out for lunch instead or a nice breakfast before moving.
Travel
And
plans necessitate
exactly,
an
yep,
earlier departure. Yeah, or you're ready to just kind of.
the dining plan, meal plan will start that Friday night for dinner if your student wants to utilize it that night.
Okay. So some important dates that are coming up is August 1st. Bills are due. So as Rachel mentioned in the beginning, making sure that that's all taken care of with our student accounts and financial aid teams does make the move-in day go a little bit smoother. However, those teams are on site to help, navigate any questions or, outlying things. The students also received today some hurricane preparedness tips in that newsletter as a part of the application that they filled out. They did have to provide some hurricane plans, so maybe just touching up on those, reminding ourselves what those looked like, things like that, just making sure that we're all on the same page, or at least that we have a page for what happens if hurricane does come our way. And then August 21st is move-in day. Which yes, I will always say it, continue to say it, it is my favorite day of the year. And as Rachel pointed out, no matter the year, it is the hottest day of the year. But the physical energy and just the excitement that you can feel from that day. We do have one last question that came in. If you have any questions about your bill, whether it is about the payment plan, deadlines, due dates, anything like that, please reach out to our student accounts team directly at studentaccounts@flagler.edu. They'll be able to answer that question specifically for you. I just want to make sure that we're not answering anything. Julie, I'm going to toss this other question over to you because you really supported this one. Rain boots, this is a fashion question. And so, do we go for ankle? Do we go for knee high? Do we go for calf? Like, what are we thinking when it comes to rain boots?
Really good question. I would not say ankle. Um, just from my experience. I personally I've had the knee high and I've had the calf. The calf is fine. My calf ones are my favorite because they're black with little lemons on them, so they're very cutesy.
Yes, and so
Um,
it can be a fashion statement
yes,
while also serving really real function.
yes, and I'm looking to get the red knee-high hunter rain boots to be more
Very Flagler.
Flagler-esque
Yes.
in
Yes.
aesthetic color scheme.
Yes. Okay, so I am seeing some like birthday presents, maybe some,
Yes.
care packages. Oh my goodness, care packages. Some holiday presents with some
Yes.
rain boots. But Anne Lynn, would you like to share what we are getting ready to launch, if not having already launched with some care packages?
Yeah, absolutely. This year we have started a partnership with a company called Dorm Drop, which will deliver care packages directly to your student in their student mailbox. And so, if you would like, I'm not sure if we can drop the link now, but it is on our social media page as well. They will have a landing page specifically for Flagler. You can go in, there's different plans that you can select. You can do a monthly option. You can do one for the whole semester. They also do options for studying when it comes to finals week or different things like that. And so we are really excited about this partnership. We were able to receive a couple of their promo boxes to
Oh,
share with us.
it
And so their items are beautiful. And we really went with them because they have some high quality items that they are sharing, not just snacks, but they could be a refresh on personal care items or self-care items, anything that they might need for studying, office supplies, if you like cool office supplies. So we are very excited about launching this partnership, and we're going to have information at Move-In Day about them as well.
So I am learning so much lingo during this one because one of our contributors that we're now calling our family members asked about mailing happies to our students, which that dorm drop box did also say mail happy to your student. And so how can students and families find the address for mailing items?
That is a great question, and I'm going to drop the mail services link in the chat here. Your student will have a mailbox specific to them that will be communicated either to their Flagler email. They can also find it on My Flagler, but I will drop the link to their website in the chat. But you can send your students packages or happies, as the parent called it, to that Flagler address with their name on it and then their specific campus mail box.
No, I'm really glad that you put
Yeah.
that link in there because there is a very specific way to put that address with that campus
Mhm.
mailbox. And how can students find out what their campus mailbox number is?
It is on My Flagler. So it
So
is.
they'll need to log
Yep.
in to their
They'll need
account.
to log in, yeah. But if students or families go onto that link that I just dropped in the chat, it'll kind of guide them to their My Flagler page where they can find their campus mailbox
Wonderful.
number.
Wonderful. All
While
right.
we're on the subject of mailing, just super quick, if you would like to mail items to campus, maybe your car's getting a little bit
Great.
full, or you want to have things, our mailroom is going to be open on move-in day, and they will start accepting packages to the mailroom on August 10th. So if there's a couple things that you know are going to be big and bulky, save the room. If you're coming from out of state or you just don't want to load it in there, you can put that sent directly to our mailroom, and then you can pick that up on move-in day.
Great. Thank you so much for that reminder, Ann Lynn, because I know we get that question a whole lot. We covered a whole lot. So, www.flagler.edu/movein has all of this information, and we are really trying to get a whole lot out on the Instagram channel for our students as well as the family portal for our families. Can you remind me what your Instagram handle is? You all are jumping to it or
I am
getting.
on mute and we're good. Our Instagram is Flagler Reslight.
Okay, and so again, a lot of reminders are going out to that for the students. A lot of different links, packing ideas, things like that. So, couple other housekeeping items to close us on up for tonight. Our next summer virtual series session will be with the president, but this is going to be a special one. We're moving it to August 6th at noon. So, join us for lunch. Join us for brunch, depending on your time zone. But this is where we're going to have a chat with Mr. Delaney and hear from him about what it's like serving as the president and, all the different experiences. However, we also started pushing out today for our students an AMA on August 3rd at 7 p.m. So that is a week. Oh my goodness, a month. A week from today through various Instagram channels where our students will have an opportunity to ask me anything. And we'll be joined by three different student leaders through the Flagler College Student Life Instagram, the Flagler Residence Life Instagram, the Flagler College Class of 2030 Instagram, and then last but not least, our Saint Squad Instagram account. And so that is really just a way for students to ask any of those last minute questions that they may have. So please encourage your student to log in Monday, August 3rd, 7 p.m. We're moving it back a little bit for them because we know they're on a different schedule and everything like that. But what is the best way to contact our Residence Life team if our families or students have any additional questions for them about move-in or just living on campus in general?
Sure, I'll take this one. Oh, and Lynn, you go.
You're good. You're good. You got it, Rachel.
We can be reached at our email. It's residencelife@flagler.edu, or you can give us a call. Our number is 904-826-8502, and I'll quickly post those in the chat for you all as well.
Wonderful. And then that website again, flagler.edu/move-in. And Lynn, do you have anything additional to share for contact or?
For contact, no, but that email address is monitored by everyone on this call. And so we are always looking for that and trying to get answers to y'all as quickly as possible because we know that it's important that you have all the information that you need as you continue to plan and pack and ask those what if questions. We are never going to hesitate to answer our questions. So please send it our way and we'll be happy to chat with you.
Absolutely. Well, Julia, Rachel, and Ann Lynn, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I look forward to chatting with your students on Monday next week, and then hopefully you'll join us on the 6th at noon with the president. But hopefully you all have a wonderful night, and thank you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.